All right. DL Nightstick 1989 commented ... So, if the game stays exactly the way it is without Tobias, you hate it. But if Tobias is a part of it, suddenly you're on board. That makes no sense, man. So I really love this comment. I like it when people actually give and have good questions. I don't care that, you know, this is asked of me. I'm not mad at the dude. I actually like it. I actually like people going, hang on a sec, so how does this make sense? So up until, like, when I did the video, what video was it? Can't remember. When I was talking about, like, the story, I think it might have been with the bio stuff, right? I think when I was covering the bio stuff, and then we started getting some leaks through about, you know, other bits and pieces that sort of added onto it and connected the dots. Starting off, of course, the confirmation of Scorpion not actually being Hanzo Hasashi, but he's actually Kuai Liang. Sub-Zero's Bi-Han's brother. That Melina's disease, is it like it's an actual disease rather than a race? Which I'm assuming then is that, like, what? Takatans are literally just diseased Edenians, right? Now, the reason why, like, and I understand, this is why I like it, because I want to sort of get into this further. People brought to my attention that John Tobias's original storylines for some of these characters were scrapped, right? Now, I'm a massive fan of John Tobias. I have seen the difference in storytelling go downhill ever since he has not been a part of the franchise. Not just that, but also this sort of drifting slowly away from the very mystical Asian themed tournament setting, which is what Mortal Kombat is. It's actually the tournament. It's the bloody name, Mortal Kombat. It's the name, right? And then they go on with these grand cinematic adventures and stuff, and everything just gets hodgepodgey. And Mortal Kombat New Era gets announced. The stages, the aesthetic, the character designs, everything feels very scaled back. And I thought to myself, that's pretty awesome. I like how it looks. The engine's garbage. Absolute woeful rubbish. But it looks good. So, you know, maybe the game should just be a painting. Just don't move, right? And then, like, you know, we started to get bits and pieces about the story, and I thought, man, what are they doing? They're literally retconning characters, right? They're retconning these characters. They're leaving characters like Johnny Cage or whatever. You know, their Liu Kang is obviously, it's not a. It is a sequel. It doesn't matter if he rebooted the timeline; it's still a sequel. Because Liu Kang Fire God exists. Okay? He exists. He had to create a new timeline. Alright? But it's still a sequel. Because he became... You know, you get it, right? Anyway, so going back to this comment. So then I started having people come on my videos going, hang on a sec. These are actually scrapped original ideas from John Tobias in regards to Scorpion and Sub-Zero actually being brothers. Sub-Zero killing their father, and then Scorpion, like, you know, either going crazy or leaving or whatever. And then, like, today I'm hearing about how Takeda, and I think you're right, I just, for some, whatever reason, it's been memory hole in a bad way, that Takeda was the one that originally founded the Shiro Ryu. Now, the only reason why I said I'm more on board with the story is if Tobias actually is involved. Because if this is his storylines, then I can get behind that, right? I know what this guy's saying. He's confused because it's like, and I get it. I 100% get it, right? Because I was the same. It's like, you know, I could be wrong. This whole thing could be wrong, right? But it's like, you know, because what we saw with Sindel and other characters with MK11, just retcon, you know, act stupid, you know, can't have sexy women no more because apparently it wouldn't be realistic in a fight. Nobody is literally pulling someone's head off unless they're a superhero with their spinal column. But we've got to make sure that the women are covered up for realism, right? So then we start getting this story bios that show up, and I'm sitting there reading and stuff. Oh man, what the hell is going on? Like you know, her Takatan is the way she is. She's not a clone anymore. It's a disease, you know, things like that. Now, and I'm probably not making any sense. I'm probably making it worse. But like, when people, fell off the chair. When people started going, no, this is actually John Tobias' scrapped ideas, right? That they are twins and she became diseased and they're actually brothers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm starting to think, okay, all right, that's pretty interesting, because I read cover to cover the Mortal Kombat comics. I literally would be in the shop the day they came out, every release. Okay, got them in a folder over there. One day I'll pull them out and show you. Right? I'm not going to sit here and read it. I'm not your father. All right? But I loved him. I love his writing. I love his vision. I love the way that he sees the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, if these are his scrapped ideas, story-wise, not gameplay, it doesn't forgive everything, right? But story-wise, it actually could be good, because I trust the man, okay? Now, you could say, argument's sake, right? You know, because he says, oh, so the game stays exactly the same as without Tobias, you hate it. Well, that's my original conception. I know I'm effing this up. I really am. My apologies. Sorry, dude. Because that's the initial thought. The premise was that, again, it was going to be massive retcon heaven. This is the way they behave. And then, because I read all the comments that I get, and people are going, no, this is John Tobias. This is Tobias's original storylines that were scrapped. And because I trust his writing, and if he's involved, yes, it makes a difference. It's obvious to a degree now, the more I'm talking about this, that these storylines that they're employing aren't like things that they came up in their head, right? Because it's confirmed. These are confirmed storylines that were scrapped by John Tobias. Okay? So, in that regard, I trust the man, I trust his writing, I trust his storytelling. Alright? God knows whatever impact the other writer has, but regardless of that, if they are using his actual storylines in this game for the first time since what, MK4? Then the story could actually be good. It doesn't forgive the rest of the game. It doesn't forgive the cameos. It doesn't forgive the crappy engine. Or the stupid, focus on combos, right? It doesn't forgive all that. But what I'm saying though, is that the story could actually be good if Tobias is helming it. And it seems like he might be, because they wouldn't be able to simply just take these ideas without his, I'm assuming, his notification or his blessing, right? That's why, I can't remember, I've done a couple of videos over the time where talking about, is Tobias back, and rumors about it and stuff like that. And so I thought, oh yeah, man, that'd be great, right? I mean, the problem is you still got to fight through the crappy fighting engine, right? You still got to go through that headache and whatever monetization stuff and things like that, which will be problematic. And I guarantee you're not going to talk about it. But if Tobias is a major influencer in the storytelling, then it could be good. The story could be good, right? So it's knowing, I guess, I don't know how to say this. I guess because I know where the source is coming from, right? Because it is confirmed. These are his storylines. And I am a fanboy of Tobias. It's as simple as that. The series needs him. And if he is involved, great. Okay, so it does make that, to me anyway, that makes a massive difference. Because what that means is that, like, you know, there's actually care and consideration in how these characters are developed, right? Maybe what's happened is that they've gone back and they pulled Tobias in and say, right, what can we do? And he's like, well, look, why don't we do what some of these characters' original visions were with Melina and Katana and all of that, and go from there. You know, this literally is a new era, so let's create essentially an alternate timeline, if you will, because they're always doing that crap, right? But take his scrapped storylines and put them in, which means, as weird and as out of place Raiden is, if that is also his idea that was scrapped originally, two things. First is a statement, second is a question. Firstly, okay, all right, okay, cool. I know his influences. I covered in a video, right? Tobias's influences are basically the stuff I grew up watching, right? So I'm on board with that, especially Big Trouble in Little China, right? Absolutely on board with that. If he's involved. In some capacity, at some point, we have to get confirmation 100% that he has given his blessing, or he's actually writing this stuff and going, you know what? Raiden should have been a Japanese thunder god. Let's redo that. Again, I would kind of like to see the story say the reason why he looks so different. I also understand from the character's point of view within the story, they're not going to know different. Right? So it's a, you know. So what, going back to what Night6 said, he goes, so if the game stays exactly the way it is without Tobias, you hate it. I hate some things about it. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over it. Right? And I'm never going to sit there and go, oh, it's an amazing game, because, you know, no, I will say this stuff till the end of time. Okay? Because it's not just me saying it, it's other people saying it. Right? And it's a great question. Or a great statement. Both, actually. Great. Because, you know, knowing where the information is coming from is key. Because then that means that there is care involved. Okay? Initial reaction? Oh, they're just retconning stuff and making crap up and reinventing the wheel. Right? Now it turns out that somehow Tobias's finger is on the pulse of this story. And it could just be in the overall aesthetic of the game. I mean, the dude co-created Mortal Kombat. Right? He should absolutely be involved in this game. He should be involved in every game. God, I'd love to know why he stepped away. God, I'd love to know that. I don't think it's ever been made public, has it? But it's his storytelling, his vision. That's exactly the reason why I fell in love with Kombat. It's exactly the reason why I make these videos. Because everything seemed to be very, like really sort of, you know, like serious and sort of, you know, it felt like they were creating a very serious universe. And then in recent games, it's just a laughing stock. Absolute joke. So I love this question. I really do. It makes me think. It makes me want to do a video and say, hey, yeah, you know, good call out. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and brown nose the game, you know, because Tobias is involved. He's only one part of it, if that's the case. But he has to be, because these are his storylines. So either, you know, Ed Boon and NetherRealm own the rights to every single conceived thing that Tobias has made and just taken it without his blessing, which I would not be happy about. Right? I would not be happy with that at all. You can talk about being unhappy with it? Yeah, that made me very unhappy. Right? Because Mortal Kombat wouldn't exist except without Tobias as well. It's a simple fact. Okay? And we've seen what it's like when only one of them are at the helm. Sometimes you require two parents. And I really believe that. I really believe Mortal Kombat requires and should have always required both its parents. Right? So I think I explained it as badly as I could. It's a fantastic question, dude. Thank you. I really like this question. I don't know if I explained it properly. Like I said, it doesn't forgive the sins of the rest of the game, but if the source material is him, then that makes a huge difference, because it's not just, it won't be just that, it'll be everything. It'll be the whole culmination of how the story plays out, and that care and dedication to making sure that things fit and make sense. So we'll see. But if anyone knows if there's been any sort of public reason why John Tobias left, I'd love to hear it. Absolutely, I'd love to hear it. So anyway, guys, catch you next time.